Hello, I'm Dilek Tuna. Welcome to Africa News. Let's begin with the headlines. Ebola cases are rising in the Democratic Republic of Congo despite the efforts to limit it. Algeria is edging closer to a major oil production milestone, with output at its highest level in more than 3 years. World leaders will gather in Nairobi later this month for talks aimed at securing a global treaty to tackle plastic pollution. Azerbaijan is expected to join the negotiations. Now to the Democratic Republic of Congo, where authorities report the continued spread of the Ebola virus. It comes as the World Health Organization says more than 70 medics have been infected with the virus. Chris Okamringa has more in this report from Kinshasa.
Health authorities in the Democratic Republic of Congo say the Ebola virus has continued spreading in the eastern and northeastern parts of the country. Most cases of the contagious disease are in Ituri province, which has been plagued by insecurity for years. Health workers have struggled to trace patients due to ongoing insecurity and the area's remoteness. That, coupled with a mistrust from some community members who do not believe the disease exists, has hampered response efforts. The head of the Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recently warned that the Ebola outbreak could be the worst ever if these issues are not addressed quickly. The government has acknowledged the need to step up containment efforts. Authorities are also calling for more funding for medical equipment to test samples, strengthen surveillance, and set up Ebola treatment centers. They recently launched an appeal for $518 million to stop the disease from spreading across the African continent, but has so far received $100 million. The Ebola outbreak circulating in the DRC is caused by the Bundibujo strain, for which there is currently no approved vaccine or specific medicine. Medics are relying on rehydration and supportive care to treat patients who were brought in early for treatment. At least 6 to 7 patients have recovered and been discharged from hospitals since the outbreak was declared on May 15. Chris Ochamringa for A News in Kinshasa.
Algeria's oil sector is showing renewed momentum. The country's crude production has climbed to its highest level in more than 3 years, bringing Africa's major energy producer within touching distance of a symbolic milestone, 1 million barrels of oil per day. Analysts will be keenly watching to see if Algeria can sustain this momentum and turn higher output into stronger economic growth.
From the capital Algiers to energy installations deep in the Sahara, Algeria's hydrocarbon sector is once again gathering pace. According to the latest OPEC monthly oil market report, the country produced 982,000 barrels of crude oil per day in May, marking its highest output in more than 3 years. The figure places Algeria within striking distance of a milestone that carries both economic and political significance: 1 million barrels per day. The increase comes as OPEC Plus members gradually unwind voluntary production cuts introduced to support global oil prices.
Algeria's vision for the hydrocarbon sector is a renewed vision, and the sector must be more stable than it is today. If you noticed in the recent government reshuffle, we separated and defined the specialization more, as we separated the mining sector from it. The reason is that Algeria has a strong future program in oil production, where we target exploration in offshore areas and also strengthen exploration in southern Algeria. Therefore, the ministry must keep pace with all these visions, and the volume of production that Algeria will undertake in the future is what determines the future course of the sector.
Hydrocarbons remain the backbone of Algeria's economy, accounting for the overwhelming majority of export earnings and providing a crucial source of foreign currency revenues. In recent years, authorities have sought to attract new investment, expand exploration activity, and modernize energy infrastructure while balancing commitments made under the OPEC Plus alliance. The latest production figures suggest the efforts are beginning to yield results. But analysts say reaching the million-barrel threshold is only part of the story. Maintaining output, attracting capital, and remaining competitive in a rapidly evolving energy market may prove the bigger challenge.
Algeria's oil output, reaching its highest level in more than 3 years, reflects the country's ability to gradually restore production while respecting its OPEC Plus commitments. The symbolic threshold of 1 million barrels per day appears attainable if current market conditions and OPEC Plus policies remain favorable. Higher output could also provide additional support to hydrocarbon revenues and foreign exchange earnings, strengthening the country's economic position.
The timing could be significant. Global energy markets continue to grapple with geopolitical tensions, supply uncertainties, and shifting demand patterns. For Europe in particular, Algeria has become an increasingly important supplier as countries seek reliable and geographically closer energy partners. For now, the million-barrel mark remains just out of reach. But after more than 3 years below that level, Algeria appears closer than it has in years to reclaiming one of the most closely watched benchmarks in its oil industry.
Delegates from around the world will meet in Nairobi from the 30th of June to the 3rd of July for talks on a global agreement to tackle plastic pollution, including in the marine environment. Azerbaijan is expected to take part in the discussions as countries seek common ground on the proposed treaty.
Plastic pollution has become one of the world's most pressing environmental challenges. According to the United Nations Environment Programme, between 19 and 23 million tonnes of plastic waste enter the environment each year, polluting rivers, lakes, seas and oceans, and threatening biodiversity and ecosystems. The issue will be in focus at a meeting of heads of delegation to the Intergovernmental Negotiating Committee in Nairobi, Kenya, from June 30th to July 3rd. The meeting is part of ongoing efforts to develop an international legally binding instrument on plastic pollution, including in the marine environment. Azerbaijan says it has already introduced measures aimed at reducing plastic pollution at home.
Recently, back in 2019, the action plan on prevention of the plastic pollution has been adopted, and there's several legislative acts have been adopted to restrict the production, sale and import of the some single-use plastics, also the plastic package in Azerbaijan. And the building on this progress, government also continues to expand this list to tackle the unnecessary plastic pollution and focus on the more while ensuring that the alternatives of the single-use plastics are available in the market.
Mutalimov says plastics remain important for sectors such as packaging, agriculture, transport and healthcare, making the challenge one of reducing pollution rather than eliminating plastics altogether. Azerbaijan is expected to present its position during the Nairobi discussions.
Ebola is not only being fought in hospitals across Congo. Social media has also become an important tool in efforts to prevent the virus from spreading. Local content creators are joining awareness campaigns to help inform people about the risks and encourage precautionary measures.
In Bunia, the capital of the Democratic Republic of Congo's Ituri province, social media influencers have joined efforts to combat the rapidly spreading Ebola outbreak. Through videos and awareness posts, they are encouraging people to take precautions against the virus. One of them is Bob Lenga Jacob, known online as Sembo. In his videos, he urges people to follow safety measures and remain vigilant against the disease. Meanwhile, emergency response teams at Bunia General Hospital are working continuously as the number of infections continues to rise. According to official figures, more than 800 cases of the rare Bundibugyo strain of Ebola have been reported in Congo. Of those infected, 192 have died. The virus, which can spread through bodily fluids, is continuing to spread across 3 provinces. Health experts say there is currently no approved vaccine or specific treatment for the Bundibugyo strain. The outbreak is the 17th Ebola epidemic recorded in the Democratic Republic of Congo since the virus was first identified in 1976.
Narrow alleyways, ancient city walls and centuries of history. Ethiopia's historic city of Harar continues to captivate visitors with its unique cultural heritage and distinctive architecture. Recognised by UNESCO, the city remains one of the country's most popular tourist destinations.
Ethiopia's historic city of Harar continues to attract attention as one of the country's leading tourist destinations thanks to its rich cultural heritage and ancient architecture. Located east of the capital, Addis Ababa, Harar was added to UNESCO's World Heritage List in 2006. The city is particularly known for its ancient walled settlement known as Jugol. With its long Islamic history and numerous mosques and shrines, Harar is described by some sources as the fourth holiest city in Islam. The city also retains traces of its Ottoman past. One notable example is the former Ottoman consulate building, which has been restored by the Turkish Cooperation and Coordination Agency, TICA. With its historic streets, museums and cultural landmarks, Harar remains one of Ethiopia's most visited tourist destinations, attracting thousands of local and international visitors each year.
That's all we have today on Africa News. Thanks for watching and stay tuned to A News for continuing coverage.